Long distance relationships can be tough, and we all know that they aren't for everybody. But here are 5 things that you can engage in when you and your partner are away from one another. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's your girl Keandra, and before we get into it, I want you to comment below and let me know which of these or one of the ones that you need to do a little bit more of to keep your relationship healthy and spicy. I have to say this before we get into our conversation today. When we think about long distance relationships, we often think about the ones that we get into relationship with intentionally and purposely. But there is a whole group of people that we oftentimes forget about who are in long distance relationships, not necessarily by choice. And when I say long distance relationships, I'm not talking about you live in one country and your partner lives in another. When I talk about long distance relationships, I'm not talking about you living on the East Coast and your partner lives on the West Coast. Those are long distance relationships. But what about people who are deported and who are separated from one another? What about those military spouses and partners who are separated due to them being in the service? And even what about those partners who are separated by incarceration? So these are just some additional long distance relationships that I want to include into this conversation to understand that there are people out there who are in different situations, and we're not here to judge, but I'm here to help. And some of these may seem a little simple and real rudimentary, elementary, but sometimes we need those reminders to make sure that our relationship stays in a healthy spot, especially if you are away from one another. Now look, long distance relationships they're just not for everybody. Let's be honest. I am one of those people who just love my partner and my boo to be close. You know, I just want to pull up on you. I want to pull up on you during the week and have lunch and come over to your house and hang out. And so sometimes that can be very difficult when relationships are apart. Now, I'm not saying I would never be in a long distance relationship, because I have before, but it's not necessarily my preference. One of us got to move. You got to come to me or I got to come to you. The first simple way to keep your relationship spicy and easier and working well when you're in a long distance relationship is calling to talk to them. Now, y'all probably are like, duh, Keandra, I'm definitely going to call my partner. But you will be surprised at how much people don't call each other these days, okay? We are in a space and a phase where texting is dominant. We are in a phase where social media is top notch, right? And so sometimes just those simple things of calling your partner to check in on them may seem a little bit off of the radar. So instead of you texting, instead of you getting on social media and DMing your partner and sending them, posts and all of those different things, how about you stop? Take time out of your busy schedule and call them if you can. When you take the time out of your busy schedule to call your partner, whether it is for 5 minutes, for 50 minutes, or for 5 hours, I don't care what y'all do, but when you take that time, it really signals to your partner that you care about them, that you were thinking about them, that you took the extra minute and the extra mile to check in to say, hey, how are you doing? And there's something real personal about not just texting, boom, 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 boom. I could do that any day, all day. And those things serve a place. Don't get me wrong. I'm here for texting. I am the queen of texting. I'm not even gonna lie. I will text all day. I'm the person that will audio message you and be like, hey, that's me, okay? But when I really love and I really care about somebody, trust and believe that I am blocking out time on my calendar and I am picking up that phone because I want to hear their voice. There's something powerful about hearing your partner's voice, and it really can get you in a space where it helps you to stay connected when there's so much distance in between you. Now, the second one is a little bit old school. Some of y'all may not rock with me on this one, but it is one of the sexiest things that you can do. Write your partner a love letter. And I know that this might be very, very common for the people who are dealing with relationships where one person may be incarcerated, both people might be incarcerated, there is some type of deportation, or even if they are in the military, you would typically maybe just write letters back and forth to one another. But with technology these days, I think people have forgotten about that technique, but still very powerful. It still shows your partner how much you love and care about them. And to be honest with you, that goes a little bit even more deeper than you picking up the phone and calling them. Think about if somebody sat down Not typed it out, and printed it out from a printer. I'm talking about sat down, took out a pen and paper, carved out time to handwrite you a beautiful love letter. Baby, that would make my heart flutter just a little bit, right? Someone took the time out of their busy schedule and took the time to write me something and send it in the mail, put a stamp on it, and snail mailed it all the way to me, right? I think that is so cute. And I can't say that this should be the primary way that you should communicate with your partner, but I do think that it is something that you want to add in every now and then if you can, because it really just creates this beautiful experience. There's something about holding that paper. There's something about seeing your partner's handwriting. And there's something about knowing that they carved out time in their busy schedule to write you something beautiful, to proclaim their love to you, or simply give you an update on their life. I love that one. Next, number 3 is sending them a care package. Now, care packages could mean different things for different people. Like we said, if you are incarcerated, that could look like, putting money on someone's books, right? A care package could mean you sending them some of their favorite cookies and candies and things that remind them of home if they are in the service or in the military and if they're serving our country. If you are separated by distance, but you still want to send your partner something, there's absolutely nothing wrong with sending them something in the mail. That's one of the coolest things on the planet, to get something in the mail that you didn't expect. Now, I don't want you to ruin the surprise and be like, hey, I sent you something. It's like sometimes just going to the mailbox, or sometimes having the Amazon driver drop off something at your doorstep and you're like, hold on. I know Amazon is quick, okay? But I did not order anything. And to know that your partner sent you something, that they took time in their own coin and money to send you something, it really is nice. And oftentimes it's things that we want. It's things that we need. It's things that will put a beautiful smile on our face, to lighten up our day, to say, hey, my partner was thinking about me. So consider sending your partner something in the mail, like a little care package, something more than just a letter, and watch it brighten their day. Number 4, I already mentioned this very quickly, but this clearly doesn't apply for people who are not incarcerated. But if you or your partner, or both of y'all, are incarcerated, putting money on your partner's books can mean a lot. There's a lot going on when people are incarcerated, when they're in prison, when they're in jail, whatever the case may be. And we don't need the whole backstory because it ain't none of our business, to be honest with you. But sometimes that extra money on their books can help them navigate through their sentence, their time, right? They are separated from us. Sometimes they need extra things for the commissary, or, food or things of that nature, because they may not want to eat what is being served to them. And so it's important for, you to be able to put some money on their books to show them that you love and appreciate them. Now, it may not be a whole bunch of money. Give what you can, but I think that if you are committed to the relationship, it will make their stay and their sentence a lot easier for you to be able to pour into them in that type of way. And hopefully, when they get out, or if they get out, they will be able to return the favor to you. Not necessarily by putting money on your books, because hopefully you ain't going to jail, but will be able to show their love and appreciation, and they will remember. This is the kicker, y'all. They will remember, like, man, when I was down and out and in probably one of the lowest phases of my life, my partner was there and they supported me and they did what they could. And that goes a long way. And last but not least, number 5, plan to visit them. I have literally seen people who are in long distance relationships who have only met like 1 or 2 times, and they've been together for months and years. And I'm like, I cannot comprehend you being that far away from me for so long and not us planning a time to see each other. Now, I know there's different circumstances. People's money is funny. The world is weird. It's not safe all the time. There's different barriers that can prevent someone from actually going and meeting their partner face to face or spending quality time with them. But it's important to do so, whether that is once a month, whether that is once a quarter, whether that's once every 6 months, whatever your finances and whatever you and your partner will decide and allow, make sure y'all connect in person. Listen, that's where you find out if we're compatible. That's where you find out if we have good communication. That's where you find out if there's chemistry and attraction and if there's something that we can build on. This is where you find out if I even want to continue being in this long distance relationship with you, because that quality time being spent, and I'm saying quality time because that's also my love language, but that quality time being spent means a lot. So plan to visit your partner, whether that is you going all the way to go visit them coming all the way to visit you, or y'all meeting somewhere in the middle. It's imperative to spend in-person time with each other, because if you don't, you are going to get to a phase where you're like, something's got to give. Now, I'm going to give y'all one more little extra secret before we go. But if you found anything that I've mentioned today valuable, make sure to crash that like button and hit the subscribe and get notified of all of the weekly videos I have coming your way. Now, look, I want to talk to y'all real quick about this thing. Long distance relationships cannot last forever. I said it. Now, I know that you think that it will because you're so in love and you feel like you can never ever not be with this person. But sometimes, well, actually all the time, I'm not even gonna lie, long distance relationships have to have an expiration date or an end date. Like I just mentioned before, they cannot last forever, because at some point, if we are deciding to share a life together, if we are doing a life together and we are eventually going to get married or move it, something has to happen. We got to move in with one another. We got to get married. We have to close the gap and close the space, because if not, who about to be in a long distance relationship for forever? Not me. And hopefully not you either. So I hope you found something useful in this video, and I will see you guys next week.